Hello, this is Barney, a local real estate agent in the greater Cleveland, Ohio market. And today I wanted to go over an article from Keeping Current Matters titled Expert Home Price Forecasts for 2024 Revised Up. So basically, all of these experts, they will give their opinion. They'll give their forecast for what the upcoming year will bring in the housing market, and oftentimes they do revise their forecast based on new information that's provided. And over the past few months, experts have revised their 2024 home price forecasts pretty considerably, and they're more confident that prices will rise and not fall. So, taking a look at the then and now, this is the 2024 home price forecast. Their forecasts from November of 2023 versus where they are currently in February of 2024. And it's interesting to see all of them have gone up by a fair amount for the most part. A few have just slightly revised their revisions. Fannie Mae up 0.4%, Freddie Mac up 0.2%, the Home Price Expectation Survey up 0.2%. But then you have some other ones that are up a lot more than that. So National Association of Realtors is up 1.2%, but when you consider that they were only projecting a 0.7% increase, they've more than doubled what they're forecasting home prices to go up then. Same thing, you look at Zillow, they were pretty bearish there with their original forecast, thinking that home prices were basically going to be flat. They're going to be at 0.2%. Now they have it going up 3.5%. Mortgage Bankers Association up from 1.1 to 4.1. And then Goldman Sachs is the biggest believer here. And they were, not bearish necessarily before either. They were at 1.9% for their original forecast, and now they're at 5% for their current forecast for home prices in 2024. So for everybody who has been waiting for drops to occur in home prices, we just don't have the supply, and we still have a strong demand. And I project that that's honestly going to continue unless there is some sort of big shakeup in the market with regards to like a job loss recession, for example. Because if a bunch of people lose their jobs, then they'll stop being able to, the current homeowners will stop being able to afford their current mortgage, so they're going to have to sell, otherwise possibly get foreclosed on. And then the people who are currently renting and not homeowners, if they lose their job, well, they're no longer going to be able to qualify for a mortgage, so we would have, fewer buyers and less demand as well. So potentially, if there's a job loss recession, especially a prolonged one, then that could lead to more inventory hitting the market and less buyers available. So increased supply, decreased demand, which would affect the home prices. But other than that, I really don't see it happening. Another quick little item here to note is that these forecasts were from November of 2023. And if you look back at our data, whether you use Mortgage News Daily, whether you look at Freddie Mac for the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage, basically the third week in October they peaked here in the United States, and they hit about 8%, depending on what data you were looking at. But we went from 8% mortgage rates to now they're in the low sevens, but a nearly 1% decrease in interest rate can make a big deal for not only what people can actually afford, but also just the mindset and the psyche of the current homeowners too. So if people are feeling optimistic, then they're much more likely to want to sell their house or buy another one, or spend money, whatever the case may be. So that's one thing to take into consideration, is when the forecasts that they are calling the original forecast, Keeping Current Matters, is back in 23, well, you know, things were looking a little more doom and gloom, as we're also going into like the seasonality of the market. Not a lot of people want to buy in the winter, and maybe that recency bias was just on the forecasters' minds then, and they were affected by it, possibly even unintentionally. So that's one thing. The other thing that's currently going on, so last week we had CPI and PPI, as far as like inflation data come out. We have our jobs Friday, everything like that, reports that come out for unemployment. And unfortunately, this past week, everything came out stronger than expected. And normally, again, you think, oh, cool, prices are staying strong and unemployment is staying low. That's a good thing. Well, not if it's coming in too strong. That's actually the opposite of what the Federal Reserve wants. And if we're making their job harder for them fighting inflation, and keeping unemployment in check, basically, then they are going to likely keep their federal funds rate raised higher for longer, which means we're probably not going to see a dip in interest rates as quickly as what a lot of people were hoping or wanting there. So that may kind of affect a future forecast, but as of right now, what we're looking at is everybody is wearing their rose-colored glasses right now, basically. So that's basically what we're looking at here for Keeping Current Matters. Basically, what it says here, bottom line, at first, experts believed home prices would go up only a little bit this year, but now they've changed their minds and forecast prices will grow even more than they originally thought. So, as always, connect with a local real estate agent so you know what to expect with prices in your areas, because real estate is hyper local, and what's happening in Cleveland, Ohio is probably not the same thing that's happening in Miami, Florida, or what's happening in Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, New York, San Francisco, all of these other cities and states, everything like that. So reach out to a local expert. If you have any questions regarding Northeast Ohio's housing market, feel free, reach out, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks.